Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new pick a card video. Today's topic is how can you help your own healing process along? So stay tuned. As you can see, I have 3 different piles here, different decks, different stones. You pick which one resonates the most with you, and that will be the message that you're meant to hear right now. I also have my Living Reiki healing cards. I have Crystal Angel cards and these lovely Path of the Soul cards. And we'll pull these as soon as we're done looking at the tarot. Without any further delays, we're going to start with Group 1. If you chose my Amethyst and chose the Angels Tarot, then here's the message for you, how you can help your own healing process along. All right, let's get shuffled. How can you help your own healing process along, Group 1? How can you help your own healing process along, Group 1? I think 5 tarot cards should be appropriate, plus the message on the bottom of the deck, which we will just put her aside for right now. Okay, Group 1, wow. All right, already Group 1, it looks like you have gone through or you are still going through something that has been incredibly difficult, maybe something that's made you very sad. This 5 of Cups is about sadness, disappointment, loss, regret. And there's confusion here with 7 of Cups, confusion on your situation, confusion on where to go from here, or even what to do, who to tell, who to trust. And this is just the short explanation. We can get into these in more detail in a minute, but with the Sun card, this is very hopeful. It does show that some kind of wisdom or some kind of help just seems to illuminate your path and will give you a little bit more guidance. So this cloudy, confused feeling is not going to last forever. You are going to be able to move forward and make progress with your healing. Spirit's validating here with the 10 of Wands that you're very tired right now and that this healing journey is not going to be without its difficult moments. But this is also saying don't let your fatigue or don't let this difficulty cause you to give up. We're going to go back to this 5 of Cups. There is a type of sadness that you have to process right now, or that you are currently processing. And I understand that's not easy. That's not an easy feeling to sit with. It's not an easy feeling to let yourself experience. And yet, some people are far too familiar with it. There's a sadness that you have to work through. And I like this little sun coming up in the background here. It's like that dark night that some people maybe literally call this the dark night of the soul. If you're going through a spiritual awakening, you might be in the phase where all of your old traumas or a bunch of your old traumas are coming up to the surface to be released. Anyways, the sun's coming up. The new day is coming, which means that your sadness does not last forever. In the moment, maybe it feels that way, and I'm really sorry if that's the case for you. But it doesn't last forever. It's temporary. And I think once you have been able to process and let go of certain pains, it will make this new day or this new part of your life so much more hopeful and a lot easier. for a little bit. We don't necessarily need to, I don't really like using this term, but dwell on things. We don't necessarily need to allow our brains to ruminate and rethink over and over and over again on certain things. But we do need to sit with our sadness or with our heaviness for a little while. Take note of, how does this feel emotionally? How does this feel mentally? How does this feel in my body physically? The feeling will pass. Even if you just set a 5-minute timer, okay, for 5 minutes, I'm going to let myself feel like shit. And then when the 5 minutes is up, it doesn't mean you're not allowed to still feel like shit, but it just means it's time to take a deep breath and try and have a different perspective. Maybe it's okay that we're letting go of something in our lives because it leaves room for something better. Sometimes it's hard to let go of something or someone that's very unhealthy and unhelpful for us. We have our attachments to that person or that situation, and it sucks having to let it go when it's something that you're used to and something you're comfortable with. I have a very strong feeling that for some of you watching this is what's happening. And so right now, all you're experiencing is the cups being dumped out, the sadness. I miss this. I miss that. I wish we could go back to this. But you haven't yet, I'm saying yet, seen the good things. Well, maybe there's freedom from a particularly binding situation. Maybe there's freedom from, I don't know, maybe it was a work thing or it was a job or something that was just wearing you down and was causing you a lot of suffering. Or maybe it was an unhealthy relationship or friendship. And right now you're like, I really miss that person. We had fun. And maybe you did. But if someone's not healthy for you, it's always in your best interest to remember that sometimes, even though it's hard, it's better to be by yourself than with somebody that is definitely wrong for you. Relationship, friendship, whatever. Anyways, point is, the sadness doesn't last forever. It will eventually pass. So something you can do to help yourself with this healing process is to remember that this too shall pass. That's a very, very, very popular quote or very popular thing that people say during hard times, but it's because it's true. In the moment, it can be as uncomfortable as it is, or you can feel as uncomfortable as you feel. Nobody's telling you, yeah, get over it, you'll be fine. But just that after a while, things will be less difficult. Things will be slightly less shitty, and there is space for you to feel better. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear it, but on the other side of the wall, there's a little bit of clunking. My husband is cleaning, which is awesome, but there's a little bit of clunking going on. So hopefully my microphone doesn't pick that up. It shouldn't, but if it does, don't worry. That's just what that is. Now, with this confusion card, 7 of Cups, there's a lot of you who are watching this still have confusion on your situation, or why is this affecting me in the way that it is? Why does this feel so bad? Why is this so difficult this time? Some people wonder or have confusion on what was my fault and what was their fault, or what do I take responsibility for and what do I not have to take responsibility for? Some people maybe don't understand why certain traumas or certain pain has come up. Maybe it's recent pain and trauma. Maybe it's something old that you're finally strong enough to deal with, therefore it's coming back up. Some people don't even know for sure what their traumas are or were, or what the cause for the pain was. They might just genuinely not know or just not remember. A really strong piece of advice that is coming in from Spirit is to seek guidance in any form that feels most comfortable to you. So some people might ask for spiritual guidance. Maybe some people know, maybe you know how to meditate and how to quiet yourself and sort of go within and receive answers. Or maybe you just need to speak with a therapist or another mental health professional or some other kind of health professional. Sometimes there are really helpful forums and communities online that, in addition to therapy or another type of professional help, can help give you support, encouragement, advice. Talking about your pains to a therapist and, this is the way I feel right now, this is what's going on in my mind right now. It's okay if you don't know where it stems from. They may be able to help you to go back through your life and figure out what certain triggers or causes might have been. Anyways, it's just vital for you to reach out and ask somebody for help, even if you don't really know what it is for sure that you need help with. And it's okay to know that you need help, but not to know exactly what kind of help. That's okay. Although, to some people, that makes them not want to reach out because it's like, well, if I don't know what it is, maybe nothing's wrong with me. And I don't ever want to say anyone has anything wrong with them, but everyone goes through something in life. So maybe some kind of health professional or therapist can help you to sort of figure out what the cause to some of your pain is, or just what you can do to help yourself feel better, what you can do to process your thoughts, your feelings, memories, what you can do to help you to move forward. Okay, with the Sun card, there's this message of encouragement that I get that song in my head about the sun will come up tomorrow. I don't really know how the rest of it goes, but just that line came into my head, that there will be happiness to be experienced, that your sadness, like I was saying earlier, it does not last forever. Your happiness will return. There's also something I'm picking up about seeking out things that bring you joy. Now, I'm going to assume that spirit means things that are healthy, so, not using substances like drugs or alcohol or something else to cope with difficult feelings. That I don't think that's what spirit's saying. But find the things, or try to remember the things that do bring you joy. Maybe you like to go outside and spend time in nature. Maybe you like to create some kind of art or music, or you like to write stories, poetry, prose, whatever. Or spend time with your pets, or spend time with animals. There's so many different things that bring people joy. And Spirit's saying that, well, basically treat yourself. At least once in a while, let yourself do something that makes you happy. And I get it. Sometimes when we're in a hard time in life, we don't feel creative, or we don't feel like making anything, or we don't feel like doing anything. But it's not to say you can't just start small, like doodling on your notebook page for a minute or two and being like, well, okay, that was all right. That kind of helped me practice mindfulness. Or some people have coloring books where they don't have to actually draw anything. They just literally fill it in. Some people there's all kinds of stuff. Like I was saying, going out in nature. Some people like to exercise. Some people like to do yoga, even if it's just like 5 minutes of stretching. It will help you feel better. Some people like their video games, or just, talking on the phone with others, spending time around other people. Whatever it is that brings you joy and that you feel like in the moment you can manage, you can handle, do it, because it will be worthwhile. It will really help your healing process. With the Chariot, remember that life always moves forward. Life always continues. And yeah, even though technically the only thing that exists right now is the present moment, take comfort in knowing that the present moment is constantly changing. It is always shifting and shifting, changing, and transforming as you sort of create your reality and sort of as you go throughout your day, throughout your life experience. In 5 days, maybe you will feel better than you felt today. Maybe in 5 weeks, you'll be a little bit more removed from your present pain. Maybe in 5 months, you can say, yep, I made it through that. And then maybe in 5 years, you can think back to what you're going through right now and not have the same emotional attachments or emotional responses. I also don't mean to say that, yep, every single thing you go through, you get over it 100% and it, it's forgiven and it's done and it never comes back and bothers you, because that's not what I'm saying. Although I wish that were true. That would make so many people's lives feel so much easier and so much better. But for the most part, your situation does not last forever. There may be things that you have to, as my therapist actually had said to me, there are some things you might have to learn to forgive over and over again, whether it's another person or it's yourself or a situation. Or there's some things that you might have to process over and over again. But each time that you process it, it's a little bit less difficult than the last time. Life always moves forward. There will always be better times, better days. There will be a period of time where you have been very happy and you've been healed and you've been doing wonderfully. Not to say you aren't doing wonderfully now if you're struggling. It's just hard to see in that moment when you're in the middle of that kind of pain. It is hard to see how you've been doing wonderfully or how you've been making any progress at all, but just know that you're making tons of progress. And your life will move forward and you will get through this. Now, with 10 of Wands, this is that card of burden, fatigue, overwhelm. It's okay if that's how you feel right now. There are some things that it's okay to drop. Some responsibilities are probably okay to let go of or to delegate to somebody else. Some plans and commitments are okay to drop or back out of. Some things are okay to, maybe you have all these things you think you have to do tomorrow, all these different errands to run. What if you didn't do all of them? What if you did some on one day and the next day you did one more thing? Or you just took your time and worked through things at your pace while you have the energy to do so. So you're not forcing yourself to look at hard memories and sit with difficult emotions constantly. There are times where you are going to have to do that work, but why not take a break now and then if you haven't already been doing that? Because this is going to help your healing as well. You need to rest. You might need to rest a lot during this period. It might be physically, you might be exhausted and needing to have naps or go to bed early or whatever it is, or let yourself wake up a little bit later. Whatever it is, your body might need a lot of rest right now in order to heal. Your mind needs to rest too. I don't think that we mean to think forever over and over and over again the same thoughts and like I was saying, ruminate on the same thoughts over and over again. I don't really think anybody means to do that, and I don't think anybody really likes to do that. But sometimes as a result of mental illnesses such as depression or anxiety, or just sometimes as a result of stress, or just as a result of I would go as far to say the human condition, because I think we all experience this from time to time, that our minds do that. And it's okay to just, if you're feeling like, here come these thoughts again, be like, hey, hi thoughts, I see you're back. You're not really welcome, but I'm just going to let you, I'm going to let you float through my mind. I'm going to let you just drift past, and I'm just going to focus on something else. Allow yourself to rest physically, mentally, emotionally. Talk to a professional about ways to deal with really difficult emotions, how to overcome that kind of fatigue, that emotional fatigue, burnout. But don't let this difficulty cause you to give up. I pick up from Spirit that while some things might be difficult for a long time, it won't be forever. These kind of situations are temporary. What you're going through might be just part of the human experience, part of life on Earth. And sometimes that does involve exhaustion, pain, upset. Don't let that discourage you from still wanting to heal and still doing your best to take care of yourself, get some rest, get some help. And now we're going to look at the card on the bottom of the deck. We have the Queen of Wands. This is one of my favorites, not just because she's my personal signifier, but this card is just saying tap into your inner creativity, I think. Now, there is some people get really upset and discouraged because they think that because they're going through a hard time emotionally or something like that, that they can't manifest anymore, or that they can't manifest anything good. But that's not actually true. You can. You can help to manifest your own healing, manifest receiving wisdom or guidance from Spirit that will help you to heal. And then I'm also being reminded of that card that was telling us to take part in things that bring us joy. Tap into your creative side. So even if you don't think that you're a good artist, you don't have to be, quote, good. You really don't. You don't have to be good at anything in order to enjoy doing it or trying it. Even if you're not an artistic or, don't think you're a creative type of person, it might just be worth trying to write down your thoughts in a notebook or a journal, or if you like to draw, illustrate your thoughts. If they were a person, or if they were a monster, or if they were whatever kind of being, what would they look like? How would you deal with them? Just the act of writing things down is so therapeutic. It kind of helps to take the things that echo in our brains and make us see that, oh, well, they're not actually that bad, or, oh, this really wasn't as serious as I thought, or this problem seems smaller than I thought it was. Because with the brain and the rumination and stuff, the brain likes to do that. It thinks it's protecting us, just going over the same thing again and again and again, trying to keep us on our toes, trying to keep us prepared. But, excuse me, oh my goodness, frog in my throat today. See if there's some way that you can creatively express your thoughts and feelings, and even if it's just temporarily, get them out of your head, get them to stop echoing just for a little bit, because this will definitely help your healing process as well. So now we're going to pull, a Living Reiki healing card. These ones have printing on both sides, so that's why I didn't shuffle any of that first. Didn't pick any. Oh my god. These cards are so soft and slippery. I love them, but they're kind of hard to shuffle. That and my hands are going faster than my brain, I think. All right. Or my brain is going faster than my hands. That might be more appropriate. All right, let's pick out of the middle. Honor yourself. That's a really good message already. All right, what does it say on the back? We need to respect whatever job we have chosen for ourselves, and to honor ourselves by doing our best to create a feeling of satisfaction in that work. All work is valuable to the extent that we choose to value it. Remember that you are your life's work. So maybe your healing right now is your job or your role, just for the present. Give yourself credit. Hey, I had a good day today, or hey, I I made it through a really hard time today, or hey, I did a difficult thing today. I can do difficult things. Just find any reason to have a feeling of satisfaction. I washed the dishes today even though I didn't want to. Or I went to therapy today even though I didn't want to leave the house, or whatever it is. Even if it seems like a really small thing to you, give yourself that credit and give yourself that compliment and give yourself that praise. Because even though it might feel really unnatural and weird at first, the more you do it, the more that these kind of thoughts will become a habit. So the thoughts like, I can do hard things, or I did a good job today. Let's pull a Crystal Angel Oracle card. Some advice from Spirit for you. These are beautiful cards. These are one of the first ones I got. Oh, well, okay, this might be a specific message for some of you. This might be literally what you're going through. Time to release repressed anger as it is blocking your health and happiness. And the message here is forgiveness heals. So maybe you do have anger towards somebody else or a situation. Maybe you hold anger towards yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. Sometimes we do that. We harbor resentment against ourselves without even realizing why or realizing that we're doing it at all. Sometimes I like to practice what is called ho'oponopono. I think about a person maybe who wronged me, and let's use that example. I think about like a person who wronged me or a person who otherwise caused me some pain or caused me some trauma in some way. And I go, I'm sorry. Now, when I say I'm sorry, it means I can say this to myself. Hey, I'm sorry you went through what you went through. You can say that to yourself. Or, to that other person. And we don't say it to them directly. We just do this in our mind. It's just something between yourself and Spirit. But if you choose, you can think about that person and almost like you're saying to them, well, I'm sorry you went through whatever you went through that made you think that what you did was okay. Or, I'm sorry to know that you did this and made such a bad choice, or whatever it is. You can easily just say, I'm taking responsibility for my healing, if you don't want to use the words, I'm sorry. The next thing is, please forgive me. And we can say this to ourselves. Please forgive me. Some people have an easier time doing this, but expressing forgiveness to that other person or the situation that harmed them. Could be, I forgive you and I forgive myself. And then we say to ourselves, we say, I love you. We say that to ourselves. Or if it's to the other person, if you don't want to say, I love you, because if you really honestly don't, you can't force yourself to, you can't force yourself to feel something that you don't. You can't send out something that you don't genuinely have. But what you could say is you are loved, because if anything, Spirit loves them. And if you don't even want to touch that, just say I love you to yourself. And then thank you is the last thing. And we can say thank you to ourselves. We could just say, well, thank you for the wisdom that I've gained, or thank you for the strength and the resiliency that I've gained. So basically, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And if you can't do that for the other person or the situation, just do it for yourself, because this will still help to heal you. All right, and our last one, we are going to pull a Living Reiki, or I just did Living Reiki. Path of the Soul Oracle card. These are beautiful cards. They have this amazing, lovely fractal art. Look at that. Now I'm going to go into the book. I realize I had this card upside down. That's okay. Card number 2. Card number 2, encoded. Where others see nothing, you see the... Oh, you can't even see that. Where others see nothing, you see the deeper meaning or message hidden within. Your guides are working to communicate with you as your intuition and inner knowing expands. Be mindful of all that you experience in each moment. Be aware of animal messengers, cloud formations, colors, conversations of others, and anything else that catches your attention. You are taking the next step up in awareness and connection to the unseen worlds. This might be why, actually, this makes more sense. We might be having traumas or pains come up to the surface to be released. Because maybe they're where we're going spiritually on our journey, there's no room for that kind of emotional baggage to come with us, and that it has to be healed. And I think that could be what you're going through right now. And just know that you will heal. This will get better. You're leveling up spiritually, so to speak, and that is a wonderful, wonderful sign. So group 1, that was your reading. That's how you can help yourself to feel better, help yourself with your healing process. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical. Leave me and others a comment what you thought, if this was helpful, or ideas that you have for future videos. With that, thank you very much for watching. All right, group 2. It is time for your part of the reading. What can you do to help your healing process along? If you chose the Septarian and you chose the Housewives deck, then this message will be just for you. So I like the ones that jump out. We'll keep them. Group 2, what can you do to help your own healing along? Let's pull 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I like that. We end with the Sun card. That's quite nice. We start off with something quite uncomfortable, 10 of Swords, and we end off with something that looks very positive. All right, let's make sure these can all stay in the frame. Whatever, good enough. Let's get started with your tarot message, group 2. This 10 of Swords is showing me that you actually might be done going through something. You've just been through something incredibly difficult, or you've just healed from something, or you just started healing from something that was painful or otherwise traumatic. It seems like you're out of, why do I want to say out of the woods? Like you're out of the darkest part. And it's like you're moving towards, now Ace of Cups, a new emotional beginning or some kind of new emotional interest. I think that you're doing a lot of emotional healing is taking place. I also pick up that a lot of you might have this sense of absolute relief, because it's like, oh, I made it through this 10 of Swords, this tough time. That's done. Now what? That's the energy I'm picking up. There's just this, well, now what? King of Swords. I think some of you may already be speaking to a professional, maybe a doctor, a therapist, some other kind of expert in, mental health or different types of healing, or just an expert in the situation that you just had been through. And you're gaining a lot of wisdom and a lot of good advice. This can also refer to certain online forums, depending on what you've been through. And if the point of the forums is to talk about healing and moving on, there's some kind of really, really important information that you've been learning. And Spirit's very happy to see this, because this is going to help you to heal and to get through this. There's something about having a greater understanding of what you had just been through. Because while some things and some people are incredibly hard to forgive, if almost impossible, depending on what you've been through, understanding can lead to a greater compassion. And a greater compassion can make it easier for you to forgive others or your situation, or at the very least, to forgive yourself. That's the most important. Whatever you've been through, you forgive yourself. Now, Queen of Pentacles is showing me that I think you've already started doing this, taking responsibility for your healing, your health, your well-being. And I think a lot of you, maybe you have families or kids or others that you feel responsible for their well-being. There's this feeling I'm picking up of, okay, I can't look after them until I get myself in order. So there's this desire to fix, I shouldn't use the word fix, but that's what came in, to fix yourself or to improve your situation or to at least get yourself to feel a little bit better. Because you're actually making great strides towards long-term healing, long-term stability, long-term, there's like independence here with the Queen of Pentacles. She relies on no one to provide for herself. And now it's not to say rely on no one. Of course, get help where and when you need help. Absolutely, because you might not have the tools or the coping methods that you maybe need, and somebody else, like a professional, may be able to help show you these things, and then from there you can sort of go, okay, now I got this, and can continue with your healing from there. But there's this definite understanding of you cannot give something you don't have, and if you don't have your inner healing and your inner peace, you can't provide anyone else with healing, comfort, or peace. Well, not effectively anyways. So this is nice. There's this feeling of taking responsibility, and if it's not something you're doing in the moment, it seems like in the future, right away, you will get to that point where it's like, okay, I got to do something about this. And then we have the Sun card. Things are happier again. Things look up. Things look, brighter. I think you gain a lot more clarity on your situation. Maybe you just gain a lot of inner wisdom or insight on yourself, something that will help you to heal. And this is just to say from Spirit that your situation will be happier. You will be happier. You will feel joy again. This Sun card, he's kind of creepy looking the longer I stare at him. But there is joy to be had again, absolutely. With Ten of Swords, my attention's brought back here, and I am hearing the words, what's done is done. I actually get a song in my head by Merritt Larson. It's called I Don't Want to Talk About It. And it's not to say that you shouldn't talk about traumas you've been through, because absolutely, talking about something makes it easier for you to heal, and maybe it encourages somebody else to heal. But for the most part, if something is done with and there is no benefit to talking about it, and no benefit to gossiping, or no benefit to complaining any further, then maybe it's okay to let it go. Some things have to be talked about. Some things, even though they're done and over with, you still have to talk about them in order to heal yourself. But for the most part, like slights against us from other people, if we've forgiven them or we've forgiven ourselves, Spirit's just saying it's safe to walk away from this, and you don't have to look back and you don't have to revisit it. Allow yourself to feel all of your feelings. There's definitely something here about like you just can't deny the way that you feel because you're going to feel it anyways. And it's just going to cause more conflict within you if you feel, let's say, for example, you feel sad over something that happened in the past, but you're consciously telling yourself, no, I'm fine. This is fine. I can't be sad over this anymore, because that just creates resistance. So it's okay to be like, all right, well, right now, thinking about this thing, I do feel sad. I do feel sad that this happened, or that I went through this, or that my loved one went through this. And just be honest with yourself. Be clear. Look at that clear, clean glass. Be completely transparent with yourself about the way that you feel. And don't worry about whether or not you, quote, should or shouldn't be feeling something, because the fact is you are feeling it. So maybe sit with the feeling for a while. Like I had mentioned to group 1, I know some people that deal with some emotional issues, they set a timer for like 5 minutes. Okay, for 5 minutes, I'm going to let myself feel like shit. And then after this 5 minutes is up, I'm going to take some deep breaths and I'm going to try and see things differently, or I'm just going to move on and focus on something else. Let yourself feel and process everything that comes up, because it's coming up to be released. The knowledge and the wisdom that you're going to gain, or that you have gained or are gaining, I don't know what the proper word I should use is, but the inner knowledge and wisdom that you're gaining from your situation right now is going to help you in the future to cope with other things that might come up. There's also just being able to teach somebody else, and you're going to be able to sort of lead by example. Not that there's ever one perfect ideal way to get through a hard time or to handle a trauma, or one perfect ideal way that we should all heal, because it's not like that. Life is a little more complicated than that. You're still going to be able to lead by example because you did not give up on your healing. You didn't give up on yourself. You made the choice to learn as much as you could, maybe about your situation, about why some things happened, or learn as much as you could on how to heal and how to move forward. You might be able to give somebody some profound advice without even realizing it. You might be able to help somebody make their healing process a little bit better too, as a result of your resiliency and what you've learned. Be proud of yourself, because you are laying down the foundation for long-term healing and long-term wellness. Be proud of yourself. Give yourself credit. And I think with the Sun card, I'm also getting, actually group 1 got this message too, but to remember to take part in activities that bring you joy, as long as they are healthy activities and not harmful to you or somebody else. Some people love art or music to create. Some people love to play video games or meditate or spend time in nature. Some people love to sing. Some people love to dance. You don't have to be good at anything in order to love doing it or want to try it or to get joy out of it. Don't worry about whether or not you're good at something right now while you're healing, because that's not the point. That's not what you should be focusing on. What this card is saying for you to focus on is finding ways to bring in that joy, finding ways to reconnect with things that bring you joy and happiness. And just that things will be happier for you again. So now it's that part of the reading where I bring out the Living Reiki cards. We're going to, oh no, I'm just kidding. I forgot to read the bottom of the deck. Haha. Okay, the bottom of the deck, the World card, things, tying up loose ends, like things come full circle, you gain closure, like that's just another memory or just another blip on your life's radar. Yep, I made it through that. That was a thing that happened. That's a thing I went through. But it's okay. It's done and over with. What's done is done, and I don't have to. Maybe once you've talked about it enough and done your healing, maybe you don't have to talk about it again if you don't want to. Or what's done is done. Some things, when we heal from them, we don't have to revisit. Some things, some traumas do sometimes come back into our awareness, and you know, we got to forgive ourselves in the situation, or we got to process it over and over again. But there is always closure. The cycle always does come to an end. So I think you're very close to coming out the other side of, I don't know what you've been through, but you've been through it. You're getting close to the other side of this healing where you're almost, I don't know if finished is going to be the correct word to use, but you've done so much healing already that you're starting to feel better. And it's like you're closing that chapter of your life. You're getting ready to start something different. Okay, now it's time to pull a Living Reiki card. And these ones have printing on both sides. They are beautiful cards. They're very, they're soft and slippery, so you can't shuffle them too fast. Oh, we got one that wants to fall out, so I think that's the one we will go with. So what is this? Oh, there's two. Oh, I like this. Change the frequency because you create your own reality. All right, let's look at change the frequency first. You're basically a human transmission tower, transmitting a frequency with your thoughts. If you want to change anything in your life, change the frequency by changing your thoughts. Your past thoughts have created the life you are living today. Hang on, where? Oh, yeah. And your current thoughts are creating your future life. You are currently, this is why you're laying down the foundation for long-term wellness. The thoughts you're having now, I am healing, I am strong, I made it through this, I can do hard things, I can get through anything. What you think about or focus on the most will appear as your life. So if you constantly think about the past, you will recreate these situations. Okay, and I think, again, there's some things, yeah, they come back up because they might need to be addressed over and over. But for the most part, a lot of situations that we go through or problems we have with other people or things like that, when they're done, they're done. And when you've processed it and you've healed from it, there's no need for your brain to go back and ruminate on it again. Your brain thinks that it's protecting you. It thinks that it's helping, but there are times where you just got to focus on something else. Once you've been through something, you just focus on, okay, what am I doing now? So now you create your own reality. You are what you think. If your thoughts are energy vibrating at different rates, each attracting to you those things to which you give the most of your attention, this means you are constantly creating your own reality, and what you think about yourself is what you become. How you think life is what it usually turns out to be for you. And again, this is not to say that people who go through hard times or people who have trauma to heal from, it does not mean that they can't manifest anything good, because they still can. It's just that your focus has to be on your healing and not so much on that moment or the trauma or whatever it was that happened in the past. You can absolutely acknowledge, yep, that happened and I don't like that. That happened and it sucks. But in this moment, I'm safe, and in this moment, I am healing, and in this moment, I am strong, and I'm doing a wonderful job laying the foundation for my future wellness. Okay, and I'm going to now pull a Crystal Angel Oracle card, some extra advice from Spirit. Let's actually just put these nicely away, because we are done with them. Let's put them, we'll put them up here. Let's pull a Crystal Angels Oracle card. These are lovely. The art is beautiful. These were illustrated by Marius Michael George. Is it Marius or Marius? I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments how to pronounce that name. Value your self-worth. This card is diamond. Value your self-worth because you are God's precious gem. I like that. You are so much more valuable than you realize. You are so much stronger and so much... Now, I will say the word better, because a lot of people, we don't think highly enough of ourselves. For most people, we are better than we think we are. We are better than we tell ourselves. We are stronger. We are healthier spiritually than sometimes we tell ourselves. I'm going to also pull, those are upside down, a Path of the Soul Oracle card. These are also beautiful cards done by Cheryl Lee Harnish. They're lovely fractal art. I find fractals just beautiful and fascinating. Anyways, card number 44. What is this? I like that it matches with this, the color on this diamond card. All right, now I'm going to go into the book. Where is the book? Here it is. Just kidding. We're going to go into the book and we're going to look at card 44. Oh no, that's page 44. Card 44. Where is that? Oh, this is the last one in the deck too. Oh, Birth of Angels. You are surrounded with the loving support of the angelic realm. You play an important role on Earth in uplifting the consciousness of the planet. So before we're able to do this, sometimes we have to lift our own consciousness and we have to heal from our own past baggage so that we can resonate at a higher vibration. That makes sense. That could be a spiritual reason why you're going through something you're going through right now. The angels are here with you to help you in every way they can. Remember, you have not been abandoned here. You are not alone on this journey. Your gifts are very special and very needed. These divine beings are here with you to aid in becoming fully who you're truly meant to be. And we have this value your self-worth card, your God's precious gem. Remember that you are beauty, you are love, you are light, you are healing, you are strength. Now you will see your path opening more than ever before. Yeah, and I like that it really goes with the message of your tarot cards. Like, you're coming out the other side of something really difficult, and be proud of yourself. You're so much stronger than you ever realized. And now that you know this, it is going to make it easier for you to go live out the rest of your life and be like, okay, well, I've been through hard things and I've healed and I'm fine. Or, I healed and I'm stronger. Or I healed and I'm okay in this moment. I can do hard things. I can be okay and I can heal. You're doing a wonderful job, and you're going to, in the future, be a great example for other people who are struggling with whatever it is that you struggled with, or other people who are just hurting for whatever reason in life. So with that group too, I hope that was really helpful to you. If you liked this video, feel free to like and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical. Leave a comment for myself and others on if this reading helped you, anything important that you learned from it, or if you have ideas for future videos on my channel. And with that, thank you very much for watching. All right, group 3, last but not least, if you chose I think this is pyrite. Let me know in the comments if I am wrong. I'm not the best at remembering the names of all the crystals, but I think that's pyrite. It is gorgeous. And if you chose the Kawaii Tarot, then this is the message meant just for you. So, group 3, how can you help your own healing process along? How can you help your healing process? My deck is upside down. Okay. And because I saw those cards, let's just shuffle again. All right, how can you help your healing process? Group 3. Oh, I like that Magician already. Strength. Ooh. Okay. Wow, you guys have so many major arcana. What the heck? Plus, oh yeah, plus the bottom. Okay, all right. You know what? And these cards are little, so they will fit in the frame perfectly, just like, well, yeah, good enough. Good enough. Okay. All right. Some people tend to think that because they're going through a hard time or because they're not 100% happy or emotionally, up there vibrationally, whatever, that they can't manifest anything, that they can't attract anything good. But that's not actually true. You can manifest, you can attract good things to come to your life even though you're going through a hard time. This practice might actually be very, very beneficial to you with this Magician card. Strength card is showing that I think a lot of you who have chosen this one, you already have some kind of magic, like I don't know how to spell, M-A-G-I-C-K, different than magic, M-A-G-I-C, which is just illusions and sleight of hand. Magic with a K on the end is like the spiritual, we would, some people call it white magic or witchcraft, whatever. Law of attraction kind of falls in that range too. The different ways of manifesting things, all different kinds of magic with a K on the end. A lot of you have already very, very strong abilities in this field. Some of you are aware of it and some of you are not. And for those of you who are aware of it, this is just a wonderful reminder of how powerful you are and how you can create your reality, you can change your situation. And to those who aren't currently consciously aware, well, first of all, hooray, you have a strong connection to spirit. We all do, but yours involves, I guess, being able to manifest and attract and otherwise create magic in your life. This is exciting. This is very empowering news. Whether it's new to you or not, incredibly powerful and empowering because it shows you that you have more control than you think you do. We might not have control over everything, but we have a little bit more control than we realize or than we allow ourselves to have. Knight of Pentacles. This might be, I don't know if your healing has just taken some time, or you're feeling so much stronger because you've already spent so much time in the past healing from something. And I think also that with the magic practice, using whatever manifestation form you want, because it's more than just law of attraction, there's other ways to do it. That might take a little bit of time to become like a full or a regular part of your routine. And your healing might have been a slow process up to this point. The reason for you personally that it's been slow is because this is the type of healing that sticks. And by that, I mean, there's some situations we go through that we feel like we need to forgive or process again and again and again. And there's some things we go through that, yep, we process it, we heal from it, we're good for years. And then it might come up and bother us one more time. So we go through it, we process it, we heal, and it goes away again. So don't worry if your healing has taken kind of a long time, or if you feel like it's taking a long time. This is good. Now I'm hearing the words permanent results, and I think what that means is that maybe whatever you've been through won't come up and revisit your awareness so often anymore. We have the Chariot, and actually group 1 had this message that life continually moves forward. That whatever you're going through is not going to last forever. It's not necessarily going to bother you forever, or it might not be in your awareness 24/7 all the time forever. Again, like I said, some traumas will pop up here and there and have to be dealt with little bits at a time. And some things, once you've dealt with them, they're done. and you're able to just completely move forward. Spirit wants you to focus on the present moment and the future rather than what happened in the past, what you went through, or the way in which your trauma came out, or whatever it is. That is done with, and in this moment you are safe. You don't need to hold on to that memory, because sometimes our bodies do that, like our root chakra. Our root chakra kind of helps us to, that's like the center that helps us to feel our safety, stability, that sense of being alive. It kind of controls that survival instinct. It thinks it's helping us by continuously holding on to trauma or things that we've been through, and by constantly being on guard, it thinks it's protecting us. But what really is happening is we get exhausted. And when we're exhausted, we can become just more vulnerable to upset and more vulnerable to things bothering us more than they normally would if we were feeling a little bit stronger. Anyways, life moves forward. There is absolute long-term healing and wellness here. Six of Swords is all about tough transition. So maybe this process is really difficult right now. Actually, this is something for a few of you. This might be a really specific message. I don't know how many people this is going to apply to. But for some of you who will be watching this, you're facing a trauma that you thought you already, quote, got over. You thought you already dealt with it because it doesn't affect you every single day the way that it did during the moment when it happened. And you don't necessarily think about it every day, but it doesn't mean that it hasn't fully been, or that it doesn't mean that it has fully been released. There are some traumas that you're going to think, why didn't I cope with that better? Why didn't I get over it at the time? Why is it coming up now? Don't focus on why is it now? Why now? Don't focus on that. Just be grateful that it's coming up, because that means you're strong enough to release it. Maybe in the past you didn't quite have that inner strength. Maybe in the past you just didn't have the resources or the capacity or the knowledge at the time to help you to understand what you're going through now and help you to understand how to heal. It's been a tough transition for a lot of you guys in group 3, but I'm hearing the words very worthy battle, a worthy war. We're going to look at the bottom of the deck. I think this Justice card is showing us why sometimes it's so much easier to say this than it is to experience it and understand it, but to understand why your struggle was worth it for you personally, why your healing is worth it. That's what I should say. This is why your healing is worth it. This process might be difficult. It might have taken a long time up to this point, but it's worth it. Because with this Justice card, there's balance, something, and this is a major arcana card. This talks about like the bigger picture, karmically, spiritually, whatever. There is a huge balance that will be brought to your life. So, a trauma that you thought you already got over, quote, got over, in the past, maybe it's being released and dealt with now. Maybe now it's finally being balanced. Maybe it was half healed, half of it was processed, brought up and healed because you were able to handle that at the time. And maybe now you're just strong enough to deal with the rest of it. And then once that's dealt with, like I said, some traumas do pop back in and out of our awareness, and we do have to deal with them as they arise, but there are lots of things that when they're dealt with, they are dealt with. And even the things that pop back up into our awareness, when they're dealt with, at least for a while, they're dealt with. There's a huge, I'm hearing an act of karmic balance. Whatever it is you're going through right now, this doesn't necessarily have to do with past lives, but it's this lifetime especially. There's a lesson that your soul wanted to learn that it ultimately does learn, or has recently learned, or whatever. You will ultimately learn, you will ultimately experience something on your soul's, I like to call it like a checklist for, okay, I'm coming to Earth and I want to do this, 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 and this, for example. something on your soul's big to-do list or checklist is being checked off, and there's this huge satisfaction that comes with it. So that was your tarot message, group 3. I am going to put these nicely back in the deck. I am, there we go, going to shuffle those, kindly put them away. We are going to pull a Living Reiki healing card. These I've printed on both sides, so I didn't necessarily pull them at the beginning. I like to wait until when I actually need them to use them. These are wonderful cards, by the way, made by Penelope Quest. I found them on Amazon. I live in Canada, so I assume they're on American Amazon. And I think that this lady who made this deck, I think she's from the UK, so they're probably available in the UK, I would assume. So anyways, we're going to pull out of the middle. What's going to be some good advice for you? Okay, this one says the little miracles. Take notice of what is happening in your life. Oh, and you know what? That magician, that could also have to do with miracles too, like things happening or things healing as if by magic. And be grateful for all the little miracles that can make up any day. The beauty of a rainbow, the smell of freshly baked bread as you walk past the bakery, an overheard joke, the fact that you managed to catch the train when you thought you would miss it, or the fact that you got through the day when you thought you wouldn't, or the fact that you made it through the night. You woke up the next morning after a really difficult night. That's a little miracle on its own. That, oh my gosh, I'm still here. I am still alive. I'm still growing. I'm still healing. The fact that we get to heal is a miracle in itself. And sometimes it's hard and it sucks. And I'm going through my own personal healing process. So it's not to say that I don't relate to what anybody's going through. I don't relate to what everyone's going through, but I'm grateful for the opportunity that we get to heal at all. Because life is tough here. Earth is kind of a difficult school. And even the, quote, easiest lifetimes will still have challenge, will still have times of pain, and still have things that you're going to have to heal from and get through. But I love the message on this card. Now we're going to pull a Crystal Angels Oracle card. Just some extra advice from Spirit. These cards are beautiful too. I'm going to say this about all my Oracle cards. They're all so beautiful. Okay, Lapis Lazuli, life-changing epiphany or experience. It's a time of big and blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. I love how this still relates to all those tarot cards. Again, like with the Magician and the Chariot, like you're really progressing in life, you're growing so much. I think there's an element of spiritual awakening with you guys in group 3, that as a result of your spiritual awakening process, you've had old traumas that you thought you got through coming back up, because now you're strong enough to heal from them. And once they're released, it just, I think, creates space within you for more information from Spirit, just different wisdom, different knowledge, different new wonderful experiences. And with that strength card, you're being supported each step of the way. You have the innate strength to do this. The Magician also says that you have all the skills that you need, you have the wisdom you need, you have the tools you need, you have everything you need in order to do what you need to do. So it's like, for you guys, this is very good news, because this means your healing is inevitable. And that's a wonderful thing. That there's really nothing too difficult that you have to do other than the act of processing emotions, difficult memories, things like that. And Spirit's saying that if you want to help boost your healing process, feel free to attract, using law of attraction or other magic type practices, attracting things like peace, attracting things like harmony, attracting a good sleep at night, attracting just positive thoughts, or just attracting a calm joy. Okay, and then we're going to pull our last one here. My deck is upside down. Here we go. A Path of the Soul Destiny card. These are lovely. I love fractal art. Oh, I like this one. It has tiny little, it looks like little baby feet. It looks actually kind of reminds me of like an ultrasound or a sonogram. I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't know what the term is, but you know what I mean. They take a picture of the baby and stuff like that. I just love these like little baby feet and the little toesies. Actually, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot more toes than on a human foot, but card number 14. Let's go. That's page 14. Card 14. Okay, yeah, footprints, it says. You have beautiful intentions of doing well in this world and having a lasting and positive effect on the planet. Okay, hence the footprints, the echo, or your what shows you that you've been here. Almost like the proof you've been here, the legacy, the energetic imprint that you leave behind. This was part of the divine plan you created for yourself before you came here. Okay, and we've just mentioned a few minutes ago how something on your soul's like to-do list or checklist was checked off, and there's this huge sense of balance and relief, and things just, oh, okay, that load is taken off. I can move forward and spend time on different experiences now. Those inner aspirations you feel and the daydreams associated with them are the whisperings of your soul calling you to your purpose. This is all part of your journey. The time has come to take the steps necessary to set this dream in motion. And you know what? Maybe right now, your purpose in this moment is just to heal. Because remember, yeah, we always live in the present moment, but the present moment is ever changing. So, right now, maybe your purpose is to keep healing, because in the future your purpose might be to teach and guide somebody else through their healing or something like that. And with that, group 3, that was your reading. If you liked this video, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, Sienna Rose Metaphysical. Leave a comment for me and others if this was helpful to you. If you have any other insights you want to add or any advice you want to give to somebody else, anything that came into you intuitively when you were listening to this. Or just if you have ideas for future readings or future pick a card topics. Anyways, with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching.